What were people chanting at Mark Cuban at the Bluebird? Find out on this episode.
1 for 3 on the way. Oh!
Hello, guys, and welcome to this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for making this your choice to talk about the Indiana Hoosiers and the Indianapolis Colts. If this is your first time here, join the community, subscribe down below, jump in the rocket ship. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and at 500 subscribers, I will be giving away home field apparel. So thank you very much for everybody who's been subscribing to the channel. I have a lot to talk about on this episode today. We're going to talk about what Mark Cuban, people were yelling at him at the Bluebird. This was on Barstool Sports. We're also going to talk about more reasons why Mike Woodson needs to be fired, because right now in the recruiting, there is nothing happening in the recruiting trail. And then I am going to the combine, so we're going to talk about who the Colts, I really think they should go after this Brock Bowers if he's at the 15th pick, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And then the mystery of that we were talking about the other day, the mystery of the upstairs pub. Who was it? I think I know who it was, and I'm not going to say their name on the air, but I will reveal it in some sorts at the very end of this episode. So thank you so much for joining us. My name is Aaron, and let's get into the episode. So earlier today, I'm listening to this guy on the radio talk about, he is like really in tune with like recruiting, in-state recruiting and everything like that. And he's just talking about how Indiana has no foothold in-state, and we have no guards coming from in-state to Indiana next year. We have Liam McNeely coming in, and then we're going to lose at least like 3 or 4 players, most likely. And then I just see this as a disaster for the team and for Mike Woodson. I just do not see how he is going to patch this together next year with a bunch of transfers from the transfer portal with Liam McNeely, another guy who good player, but another forward. I just don't see how this team's going to get bigger and slower and somehow get better with less guards. And we are just not seeing that. And whoever we get in the transfer portal, we know that like when we go to the transfer portal, sometimes you end up with just a mixed bag. I mean, I would say Xavier Johnson was a guy that really, there was a reason why he was in the transfer portal. Pittsburgh didn't want him anymore, and he was just used goods, and Indiana ends up with him, and he's been pretty much a problem player ever since he got here. So I don't see how we are going to get better with Mike Woodson bringing in nobody practically next year. We have Liam McNeely. This is getting, now when you really think about it, it's towards the end of the season in the spring. If you don't have your recruits lined up by right now, then most likely you're just going to end up with a bunch of has-beens in the transfer portal because you have built nothing from the inside out at Indiana University. And that's just the bottom line. What Mike Woodson, he's just not really fulfilling a role here that is going to consistently make this team a winner year in and year out, because he's not building the team from the bottom up. We're just going to slap a bunch of transfers in there next year. Then he's going to have the exact same excuses. Well, there are a bunch of players that haven't played together that much and blah, blah, blah. And it will just be like that year in and year out, because we're never bringing in players from in-state that are going to be 4-year players. And I have been saying this for weeks and weeks on this show. That's exactly how you have to build a team. And Mike Woodson, he's just not building a college team the right way. If he could prove us wrong, I mean, in the next 3 or 4 weeks after this season's over, if we have nobody signed on to come in state or any guards that are going to come in, how can we expect that we're just going to get like 3 or 4 good players in the transfer portal that are just going to magically play well together? Yeah, fat chance. Because basketball is not played that way. Basketball is about continuity within your players, within your team, and building a system within those players and within that team. And over time, like, players can understand it. And that's just not what's happening at IU right now. And it's just a shame to see, but it's just more reasons why I think Mike Woodson, we'll see what happens in these next games. There was exuberance after we finally got a win after so long, but after a couple of days, I'm thinking, you know what? Like, this program is not really in great shape, and I see a lot of holes in any of the plans that we have going forward right now, that they're just not going to be executed in a way that's going to bring a winning formula to Indiana. Now, let's talk about what people were chanting at Mark Cuban at the Bluebird. People were saying to him when he was there, people were telling him to buy out Woodson when he was there. So I just thought that was funny. And to solve the mystery of the upstairs pub, I think I know who it is, and I'm not going to say their name on here, but just cue the music and we'll see who I think it is. Who could it be? Who is this? Okay, that's who I've concluded out of all of the information I've gathered, and I'm not going to say anything else. So tomorrow, my dad and we are going to the combine. I'm going to shoot some videos there, and we're going to watch the tight ends and the DBs. I mean, this could be a very, very boring experience, but it's just going to be a day to just kind of like walk around, do some stuff at the stadium, maybe shoot a couple of videos. And I really just want to see Brock Bowers, because if he's going to be there, and a couple of the Colts players are going to be there as well. So stay tuned. I'm going to make a video about that. I believe the Colts should pick Brock Bowers if he is available at 15. I've been watching some highlight films of this guy and just looking at the stats. I think this guy is a made for TV game changer at the tight end position. And the Colts, with this rookie quarterback, they definitely need a guy like this to come in who could just get open down the seam or get open in a way like Kelsey does. That would be huge for the Colts and this young quarterback. And I also think by getting a guy like that, you make it a lot easier for Alec Pierce and Pittman and Downs to get open, because you just add one more dynamic option in there, and this offense could be really, really good if you have that guy added to that with Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson. I could see that being a really, really fun team to watch. We'll be at the combine checking that out. And the Indiana recruiting, I'm telling you, if I don't hear anything else about Mike Woodson and who he's going to bring in or anything like that, I just think this team, it is not going to be much better next year. And then we have 365 more days and he will be gone. But right now, I just don't see how, do you think Ware is going to be able to carry this team the rest of the way and just play at this level and win these games for this team? I don't think it's possible, because he's not really done it all year like he did in that last game, but we'll see. We'll see. That's why they play the games. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier and Colts fans.